Hi guys, and welcome to Malt Box, the non-chill filtered whiskey blog. I'm Andy and I'm back with you today with whiskey review number 125. Now what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take you back in time a little bit. I'm going to take you back to the start, the actual true start of my whiskey journey. I'm going to try and keep it short as well, don't worry. Now, I started drinking whiskey when I was in college here in the UK. So when I was about 17 when I started drinking whiskey. I mean, for legal purposes, 18. I was in a band and we did various gigs around the country and stuff, a really good time. And I very quickly realised that my money would stretch a lot further with supermarket own value branded blended Scotch whiskey, and I got a taste for it. Like all my mates drank the cheap vodka and the cheap gin that was 37.5%. The rum was 37.5%. And I always noticed that the whiskey was 40%. And I was like, do you know what? I want the extra 2.5% for my bang for buck. I used to get about £20 a week. So, my funds were limited. So that's basically the first whiskey I ever drank was supermarket value branded whiskey. Okay. And a couple of cheap bourbons thrown in there as well. Again, supermarket stuff. And that was when I was in my teens. Now, move on a few years. It's my 21st birthday. And, I've still got the taste for that stuff, but I've moved on a little bit. I just drink beer and I drink wine and vodka and stuff like that. And my wife, my now wife, surprised me with a trip to Edinburgh for my 21st birthday. And I've basically got a lot of family up in Scotland, but they're on the Glasgow side. So she took me to Edinburgh. And we went on the Royal Mile and things like that, and we did various things, went to the castle, did all that stuff. And I walked past, I think it was Royal Mile Whiskies, to be honest with you. And I walked in, I just said, look, I really want to start appreciating whiskey. I used to like drinking Tesco value, Sainsbury's basics, Asda Smart Price. And I remember the guy behind the counter having a chuckle and just saying, fine, cool, right, so what do you like? And I explained the sort of flavour profile that I liked, and at the time it was quite basic, I mean, I was like, I don't want it too harsh. I used the word smooth, which is fine. And what he handed me was the whiskey that triggered my love for whiskey. Like, truly triggered. It was the catalyst, the first domino that toppled, that set all the others going over the last 11 years. And it was this. Monkey Shoulder. I'm sorry for some of you that were expecting like a 40-year-old Port Ellen or something like that. No. So what he handed me was this. Monkey Shoulder. Right? So Monkey Shoulder is a blended malt Scotch whiskey from William Grant. Now William Grant owned Glenfiddich, Balvenie and Ailsa Bay distilleries in terms of malt distilleries, as well as Kinninvie, which is basically used for a lot of blending and things like that. And Monkey Shoulder is a massively successful whiskey, and there's a few reasons for that. It's very approachable, it's very affordable, it's widely available, and it came to the market at exactly the right time, I think, back then. Now, for those of you that have not tried this before, if you just picked it up and you want to know a little bit more about it, or if you're thinking of buying it, you'll notice that it says batch 27. Now, the batches don't change. This is basically the batch makeup that was settled on in order to release this whiskey back when it was first released. Batch 27, it's never changed. It's not gone 24, 25, 26, 27. The release is just Monkey Shoulder, the original, as it's called now, and it says batch 27 on the bottom of it. Just ignore that. So, Monkey Shoulder. This cost me the princely sum recently of £20 on sale at a well-known online retailer that I should probably use a lot less often given their questionable employment practices. Therefore, I won't name them. You can pick it up roughly the same price in supermarkets sometimes as well. And that's the thing, you can get it in supermarkets, you can get it online, and you can still get it in specialist retailers. So, This is not natural colour. This will be chill filtered. All right. Let's not forget that. This is not aimed. This is not targeted. You know, people that have been drinking whiskey for 10, 15, 20, 30, whatever, however many years, that like certain malts and know what they like and are against non-chill filtration and natural colour and things like that. So this is a blended malt Scotch whisky, as I've already alluded to. It's no grain whisky in it, so it's purely malt. So it will be from the William Grant stable distilleries. Again, the Glenfiddich, the Balvenie, the Kinninvie, possibly nowadays some Elsa Bay. Not too sure, to be honest with you. Colour, neither here nor there, because it's not natural. Some relatively slow legs on the glass. And let's see what this has got on the nose. It's going to be interesting. This is the first bottle of this that I've bought for about 9 years. It's genuinely the first bottle of it I've bought in 9 years. I'm actually quite excited. It's not complex, okay? But the reason I'm smiling is because this is instantly taking me back to when I got back to the hotel room with my wife, my now wife, Stevie. And I opened this and I took a swig of it, sniffed it, and I was made up, absolutely made up. I was like, this is fantastic. This is genuinely, I need more whiskey. This is it now. I'm a whiskey drinker. This is it. What I am getting on the nose is ice and sugar, spice, toffee. It's still quite soft. It's quite approachable. There's a little bit of fruit in there and a little bit of maltiness. Now, after having this bottle, this led me to ask people for Christmas that year for bottles of single malt. I thought, oh, I'll expand. Christmas, let's do it. Let's get it done. And that's when I was gifted a Glenmorangie 10 and a Bowmore 12. Two very, very good whiskies in their own right nowadays, still very, very popular for good reason. And they were another catalyst. They were like the second domino that set me off on my further sort of mining into the rich, resources of the whiskey world, the rich tapestry, the first couple of stitches of a rich tapestry of whiskey. So again, this is another trigger for me. This is just sending me to a happy place, to be honest with you. Very, very nostalgic. Rolling back the years. I wish I was literally, but alas, I'll just have to do it through this. On the palate. Not bad mouthfeel. Again, not overly complex, but there's that toffee in there again. The spice. It's very, very drinkable. Very drinkable. The sweetness in there. There's a little bit of fruitiness going into the finish. The finish is quite long. Again, quite soft. Touch of spice, touch of sweetness in there. Overall, this is an incredibly approachable whiskey. It's a very dynamic whiskey. You're not going to be too bothered about mixing it. You can drink it straight, you can drink it with Coke. Drink whiskey how you want it, guys. I've always been an advocate of that and I will stick to that to the end. So thank you for listening to me and thank you for joining me on this nostalgic journey back to my whiskey beginnings, my humble beginnings. I hope you've enjoyed today. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please feel free to subscribe. I'm on social media, Twitter at Maltbox, Instagram at Maltbox Whiskey. I'm going to box it off now, guys. See you soon.